Today we're going to be talking about if Dartz, the main antagonist for Season 4, is the best villain. Dartz, the 10,000-year-old king that inherited this position from his father, Ironheart, saw the Orichalcos and over time it altered the way he thought and made his main ambitions to revive the great Leviathan that would cleanse the earth of evil. In actuality, it was doing the evil. Before we begin on with the main portion of the video, I just want you guys to note that Dartz was a filler villain that was never shown in the original Yu-Gi-Oh manga. After Tim gets that victory in the Battle City tournament, he goes back to the Domino City Museum and obtains all 3 Egyptian god cards due to his victory, and he can show it to the memory tablet and he will regain his memories. While Tim was about to do that, there's this mysterious figure chanting, and that individual is Dartz. He freezes the stone tablet, which stops Tim from regaining his memories. I personally do think he's one of the best villains, and I think there's a person that ties with him who I'll bring up later on in the video. But Dartz was so powerful that he was able to stop Tim from regaining his memories, his main motivations from Season 2 and the ending of Duelist Kingdom, and not even being present. He was probably thousands of miles away. Dartz saw Tim in Egypt and saw how powerful Tim's soul was and waited another 5,000 years. Throughout this 10,000-year journey Dartz went through, he gathered pawns that he used, and his pawns were Alistair, Valen, Raphael, and later on Mai. What's so great about this arc in Dartz cult is that each of these people have a backstory with a certain character. For example, Alistair has a backstory with Kaiba Corporation, Valen has beef with Joey, and Joey tries to save Mai, which Valen interrupts. Raphael and Yami has problems because Raphael defeated Tim in a duel and took his other half away. So that's basically one thing that makes Dartz stand out, is that he utilized these pawns and made other characters relevant at the same time. And also we got heavy backstory on Kaiba, which is a treat because we also got the arc after Battle City 1, Noah arc, which was filler as well, but it was heavily based around his father and how Kaiba was raised. Also, Dartz stands out in terms of character design. We see that he has a different color eye, which started the trend in Yu-Gi-Oh! I've seen this several times throughout GX, but also his hair very much stands out as well. Besides Weevil or Inspector Haga, I don't recall any character having that light blue hair color in Duel Monsters, but Haga's hair is sort of greenish with a tint of light blue. The costume that Dartz wears as well, it has that hint of futuristic but at the same time ancient, which is very good, and he's also been used as a template for other characters in Yu-Gi-Oh! For example, Zone from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, he has a group called Iliaster and he's the main person behind it. Now what makes Iliaster so similar to Doma is that they're both a cult and one is from the future while one is from the past. So they're very much opposites, or how do I say, they're very much opposites, and they're both doing things that they think is helping the world out, but in reality it's doing the opposite. Also, to add more into that, Dartz's backstory is very great because it incorporates Rebecca's father and is also similar to Tim in the way as he is the ruler of a kingdom, so it's very good at the end of it as well. And now let's move on to Dartz deck. Dartz deck is amazing anime wise. The Seal of Orichalcos is one of the most powerful cards. It makes the loser of the duel lose their soul. In addition to that, the seal can make the darkness in a person show, as it did to Yami Yugi, which ultimately led down to his defeat. Yes, the Doma members contain the Seal of Orichalcos, while Dartz deck is built around aiding the seal and giving the seal additional features. He also defeated Dragon Knight Master without even breaking a sweat. He's just a menacing villain overall. One thing I liked about Dartz is that during the Kaiba and Yami duel versing Dartz, is he activated Orichalcos Mirror, which is a limited card that only he has, and that's basically aiding on to the Seal of Orichalcos, which makes his deck so good. But what Orichalcos Mirrors does is that by activating it, it gets into Yami's head. The card is basically that it summons these knights and makes Yugi, Pegasus, Joey, Mai appear as they are the knights, and Yugi and Kaiba have to destroy these cards to get the darts because it's the front row protecting Dart's life points. But if they do destroy the cards, then they lose their souls, which is basically saying, here's a gun, shoot yourself, if you don't I shoot it for you. At the end of it, Kaiba figured out that it was nothing. It was just a way to get into Yami's head. Kaiba says in the dub that they're just holograms and attacks these clones and they are vanished while their souls are not gone. What Dartz did to get into Yami Yugi's head in this arc was next level shit. I want to get on to my favorite portion about this video, and it's what Dartz did to Tim. If you really analyze this whole arc, and I know that Takahashi didn't do it, but still Dartz is probably Tim's hardest challenge. Of course you can say that Yugi and finding his memories were, but besides that I think Dartz was Tim's hardest challenge. Dartz stopped Tim from finding his memories, and his pawns Raphael, which he basically basically controls, took away other Yugi that made him emotionally messed up. We see him crying, we also see him getting out of control, which he did to Weevil, who sort of deserved it for throwing away Exodia, but still, he doesn't deserve that many knife slices. Tim got a little sane once he encountered Yugi again and met him. He started to cry, which is very much a touching moment throughout this arc. We see Tim not being able to see Yugi, and well, I've always thought that it was Yugi needing Tim, but Tim needs Yugi as well. He does cry a lot in this arc, which I really wouldn't expect for him to, since he usually is very stiff. Darts aimed the knife at the right area and took away Yugi, which really misguided Yami. I also do want to talk about the duel, which I find Darts at his peak of really disrupting Tim's normal way of dueling. Darts in the duel defeats Kaiba, making it just him versus Tim. And what else Darts does is that he knocks out Tristan, Mokuba, and Taya, leaving Tim by himself. And it's very similar to the Pegasus duel on how they were forced to leave Tim by himself because it was a shadow game and the force field was blocking Yugi's friends from coming inside, and it was just Yugi and Tim. But over time, Yugi couldn't handle it, so it was just Tim. The turning point that really made Darts' demise was Tim being able to break the seal. Darts' jaw probably dropped all the way to the bottom of the He summoned the Divine Serpent, which had a power of infinity, which is I think the first time we've ever seen a monster with the power of infinity besides Exodia, but Exodia is a one-turn KO. Well, this thing, there's still ways of defeating it, like you still have a longer chance of not getting battered. Yugi then uses the card that Pegasus gave him, which basically combines all three knights together, and he destroyed a monster with infinite attack, which doesn't make sense. There might be a better explanation towards it inside the Japanese dub, but basically from the English dub, it was getting the power of the knights and redirecting it back and forth and basically breaking the cap on infinite power, which really doesn't make sense. One thing I liked about the dragons was that the owners were their knight forms. But to recap this video, I really do think that Darts is one of the greatest villains of Yu-Gi-Oh! He did the most damage in the hardest challenge for Yugi. He broke Tim mentally plenty of times and just was an overall mountain for Tim to climb. I do want to tell you guys who the other person was, and that is Band-Aid Bakura, which I will be doing a video on later, and I might have a special guest who really does enjoy Bakura as a character, so stay tuned for that. Have a great Christmas. If you guys don't celebrate Christmas, just have a great day or a week overall, and leave a like and follow me on Twitter and Discord, whatever you guys prefer, which is linked down below. See you guys later.